Hey guys, in today's video, we're checking out the B-5RC wireless guitar system for guitar and bass by Nux. And yes, this does work with active pickups. It works with active pickups, acoustic, electric guitar pickups, piezo, magnetic pickups. It works with all of them. I've done a lot of videos on these plug-and-play wireless systems, and the number one question I get asked without question is, does it work with active pickups or my piezo pickup? And this one is specifically marketed to working with active pickups. And these also help with reducing the noise. So if you've used some of the other cheaper plug-and-play wireless systems and you plug them in and you start getting like a noise, especially with like a fuzz pedal or something like that, this system might be right for you. And even if you're just looking for a wireless guitar system, this one might be right for you as well. This is a really cool system. So I'm going to go over some of the specs, do a tone test, a range test, share my experience with them, go over how it works, stuff like that, and see if this system is right for you. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. I was really hesitant on doing another video on a 2.4 gigahertz wireless system. However, if you don't want to watch the whole video, this system is awesome. They've included a lot of new features. They've addressed the 2.4 gigahertz issue that comes up that I've had problems with. It has more channels. This is an awesome system, and I'm going to get into the details. So if you just want to see, oh, is it a good system, and wanted to know the answer in a minute, yes, this system is awesome. Links are in the description down below if you want to purchase one. However, if you want to find out more details about it, keep watching and we'll go over the specs on this system to see if it's right for you. So before we get started, I post videos like this all the time, stuff on wireless, MIDI, programming in your monitors, finding cheap stuff on Amazon, stuff like that. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell. All right, let's get started. So just for full transparency's sake, Nux did send me this system to check out. They're not paying me to say anything about this. They just sent it to me to check out. All right, so if you've never used one of these plug-and-play wireless systems before, they're actually really easy. This one includes a really nice case, which I'm going to get to here in a second. If you've never used one of these, this is about as easy as it gets. You have a transmitter, TX, and a receiver, RX. Push the button on the side, turns on, nice and simple. Plug the one that says TX, the transmitter, into your guitar. Plug the one that says RX into your first pedal or your interface or your amp or whatever, and you are ready to go. That is basically it. And when you turn them on, they actually find the best channel to transmit on automatically, which is really cool. So something a little different about this system compared to other plug-and-play wireless systems that I've never seen before actually is it has this carrying case, which is super nice. Really convenient. It's really sturdy and it'll really protect your wireless. But what's really cool about this, I'm going to turn these off. You can actually charge these in the case. So there's actually a charging port right in here. Plug these in, and the case will charge the device. It's really cool. And you plug in here to charge the case. So the case will actually charge this system 3 times. Really cool. It's like the Apple AirPods type of thing, you know, where like these are my travel earbuds, like when I'm on a plane or whatever. And the case charges the earbuds. It's the same idea with this system. I've never seen that before, and that's really clever of them to do that. I'm surprised no one else has thought of this before. So props to Nux for doing that. I think I've called them Nux before. I'm pretty sure it's Nux. See how it says NU arrow X? So I think it's Nux, not Nux. So I've had it wrong for a while now. But that's really a really cool design. All right, so going over some of the specs, and this is just on Amazon. Again, links are down below if you want to look into this more. What's really cool about the system is there's no buzzing or humming with both active or passive pickups. So if you've had problems with these other plug-and-play wireless systems before, and you've had problems with it buzzing or humming, especially if you plug into like a high gain amp or something like that, or use a fuzz pedal, I've heard as well, this one is meant to help reduce that. So no more humming, buzzing, or high-pitched noise. System just delivers crystal clear guitar tone, 24-bit, 44.1 kilohertz, with less than 5 millisecond latency, which is great. It means you won't hear any latency. So they auto sync up with each other, which is great. You don't have to manually set them or anything. They just automatically sync up. As it mentions, it has the power case where you plug the transmitter and the receiver into the case and it charges it and it protects it. So the compatibility, so as it says, it works with active, passive, electric guitar and bass, acoustic electric guitars with piezo or magnetic pickups, which is awesome. It works with all types of them. A few of the ones that I've reviewed before, someone has said, oh, this doesn't work with my guitar or something like that. that. If you don't want to risk it, this one is a great system, and this works with all of these pickups. So it even works with my weird Variax pickup, which I believe is a piezo pickup, but it's a pretty unique guitar system, and this one works great with it. It does have a mute button. Just click the transmitter's power button when you want to stop playing for a short amount of time. If it gets no signal for 10 minutes, it'll shut off, which is great. So that saves the battery if you accidentally leave it on. And it also has about 30 meters to 100 feet line of sight, which is plenty for these types of wireless systems. Something it also has, it has an optional cable tone simulation. It makes it sound natural by using the cable quality. I've never used that. I think that just rolls off a little bit of high end. You can do that if you want. The option's there, but I mean, that's not for me. And when it ships, it does ship with a dual USB cable. So you can still charge these individually if you don't want to charge it in the case. But I mean, it's definitely easiest to charge it in the case. So yeah, if you want to mute the audio, push the button on the side, it turns red. Push it again, and it's unmuted. So that's really nice for when you're about to unplug it or something like that. Push the button, unplug it, it doesn't make a loud pop, and then turn it back on when you plug into like another guitar or something like that. Really cool. Just they really thought about everything with this system. And this info is not actually on Amazon, it's just on the box. Runtime is about 3.5 hours fully charged. And using the case, you can charge both the wireless and the transmitter about 3 times. And the frequency response is from 20 hertz up to 20 kilohertz. So that's the full frequency range that you need. Some of the other ones, they actually cut out, they're like 50 to 18 kilohertz. So this one actually gets the full frequency spectrum. Not that you really ever need anything below 50 or above 18, but it's still a high quality system. And there are actually 19 channels that this thing can transmit on, which is really nice. And way more than most of these plug-and-play wireless systems, especially the 2.4 ones. So in order to get that cable tone emulator, just on the receiver, just push the button when it's on, just push the button once, and it turns to like that yellow color. Push it again, and it's back to normal. I never use that personally, but if you want to, the option's there. Okay, so the price of this on Amazon is about $150. I've been pretty critical of $150 systems. I didn't think it was worth it. The reason why is because ones like the X-Vive U2, and again, I feel like I always bash on the X-Vive U2. I don't mean to do that, but the thing about that system, it's a 2.4 gigahertz system. It doesn't have this charging case with it. So the X-Vive has 4 different channels you can choose from. This one has 19 different channels that you can choose from. So the fact that it specifically works with active pickups, it has this charging case, it has more channels to choose from, and I'm going to get to the 2.4 of why this one's actually better at 2.4 here in a second. This one has all of the features and all the extra specs that I think is worth it to get one of these types of systems. It's just, to me, if you're going to charge $150 for one of these wireless when there's other ones out there that are cheaper, you better include the specs and the design and the features that Nux has done, including the super nice carrying case, charging ability, how well it does with reducing noise, the number of channels that you can choose on this thing. All of that makes it worth that price point to me. Okay, so for the 2.4 gigahertz, I'm going to link to an article about this if you want to know more, so you can read the entire thing. So the main problem with 2.4 gigahertz is on the same frequency as like Bluetooth and wireless routers and stuff like that. So it's possible to have more interference with these systems. If it's near a router, if there's a lot of wireless and Bluetooth activity going on and stuff like that. So in this article, and on Amazon, it actually makes a mention of this. This has narrowed down the bandwidth to a much narrower frequency than the other 2.4 gigahertz systems. So again, it's a little bit complicated on how this works. And again, I'll link to the entire article here because I think the video would get far too long if I tried to explain this entire thing. But what it's done, it's be able to have more frequency options and transmit on 19 different channels in 2.4 gigahertz as opposed to some of the other ones that are only able to transmit on 4, and does that by finding a more narrow frequency. This isn't my area of expertise. I can just tell you that my experience with 2.4 gigahertz, especially ones like the X5 and the Boss one, have given me trouble before. This one has not. And specifically in this article, it even says the signal stability is the highest one. It says is the Shure GLX-D, followed by the Nux B5. Next is the Boss WL, and then the Line 6 G10, which is also in 2.4 gigahertz, which I tried for a little while, but I didn't end up using it. I didn't end up keeping it. So this one is better, but ultimately this is one of the best 2.4 gigahertz systems out there at finding a clean channel. All right, so next up is the tone test. So on my channel, I don't do a super A/B comparison. To me, it's can you get a good tone out of it? If so, use it. I'm actually going to do a video about this as well in the future, about how I think our ear plays tricks on us of like, we spend so much time researching, how does it sound compared to the cable, when in reality it's just, can you get a good tone out of this? To me, with this one, I don't hear any loss in quality when I play with a cable or other wireless systems or anything like that. So to me, it's worth using. However, for the sake of the video, I'm going to do a tone test anyways. So here's how it sounds on a clean tone. And here's how it sounds on a distortion tone. Those are the types of tones that I go for with my music. I mean, it depends on the band I'm playing with. But to me, it sounds great, sounds completely usable. I don't hear a huge cut in the high end or the low end, which sometimes you get with wireless systems. To me, it's a completely usable sound, and it's what I'm going for. All right, next up is the range test. So I'm going to strap a GoPro to my head, plug in, walk around my house, and see if it cuts out at all. Has 100 feet line of sight, so you're not really going to be going through walls anyways for your wireless. Even then, it works great. Okay, so my experience with them, I always try to test these out before I use them. On my channel, I don't like just saying, oh, this is what it does, these are the specs, and it should work well. I want to put it to work. As far as playing with sound, I actually took this to the Dominican Republic. Actually, I'm playing out there actually right now while I'm editing this video. Last time I played here, my X5 did not work at all. I couldn't walk like more than 10 feet from it without it cutting out. This one has worked amazingly. I also used it at a gig where I've had trouble with 2.4 gigahertz before, and it worked great. I had no problems, and it definitely survived over 3.5 hours for sure. My main test that I wanted to do with this is I wanted to practice with it during a live stream. So this sounds great. It works great. It works really well. The main thing that I really wanted to test was that 2.4 gigahertz, because again, 2.4 has so many problems with wireless routers, Bluetooth, things like that. So what I actually did is I brought this to a live stream. Now, a live stream, we have to have a good router. We have it right in the room with us. So there's a ton of wireless going on. What I actually did is I actually have a MIDI pickup on my Variax guitar. I use the Fishman Triple Play. It has like a dongle that I plug into my phone that runs Sample Tank, and I play like strings and piano and stuff from my guitar. But that is on a 2.4 gigahertz system. So like I said, I really wanted to put this to the test with a 2.4 gigahertz system. So I put the receiver right next to our router, right next to another 2.4 gigahertz system, the Boss WL20. Anytime that I've done that, every other wireless system is cut out. It didn't cut out at all. Again, that was by a wireless router, which you're not supposed to do with these systems, by a bunch of different wireless mics and guitar stuff going all over the place right next to each other. It was right next to another 2.4 gigahertz system, and it never cut out. Now with the transmitter, what I did is I used it to transmit from my phone that was, again, running all the strings and synths and stuff on my phone. And again, the reason why I did this is because I had the MIDI pickup receiver is a 2.4 gigahertz receiver and a Bluetooth receiver. I'm not exactly quite sure how it works, but it's in the same frequency. I put it right next to that. I put it right next to that phone that had Wi-Fi enabled, and put it right next, and it also had Bluetooth enabled. It never cut out. So the fact that it was able to survive like the most rigorous test that I could put this through for 2.4 gigahertz, that I really wasn't expecting that. I was really trying to push it to see what the limit of this was, and I was not able to get it to cut out. So that is really cool. With any wireless system, you should always have a backup cable. You always should have a backup cable, especially ones in the 2.4 and the 5.8. I know that at some point you're going to find an environment where your wireless isn't going to work. You always want to have a cable, but so far this one hasn't let me down, and I've put it through the toughest tests that I've been able to put this through, and it hasn't failed. So I'm super impressed with it. So my final thoughts: in other videos, I've said that $150 is too expensive for those plug and play wireless systems. And what I should have said is, unless they have something else to offer an extra features. This system right here is the best 2.4 gigahertz system I've used by far. And it includes really cool things like the carrying case, the mute for unplugging so that it doesn't pop. Some of the other ones, they pop even when you turn them off. I love this carrying case a lot. It has that cable emulator if you want that. I personally don't. It has 19 channels to choose from, auto syncing, good range. It's built really well. It works with active pickups or basically any type of pickups. It's a smarter 2.4 gigahertz system. This one 100% does that and is absolutely worth the price in my opinion. So I hope that helped you guys out. Links are in the description down below if you're interested in purchasing these. They are Amazon affiliate links, so if you do decide to get these based on my recommendations, it does help out my channel and it doesn't cost you anything extra actually. It just gives me a small little kickback, so I'd appreciate it. If you guys made it to the end of this video, just do me a favor and just hit the like button. It does a lot to help out the YouTube algorithm, so I'd really appreciate that. If you guys are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe. Check out some of my other gear reviews that I've done in the past as well by clicking the playlist on the screen. Thank you guys again for watching. If you have other cool gear you want me to check out, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.